women are tuned into, the members are tuned into that because it's important. You want to grow your wealth. You want to grow your financial bottom line. Men bring deals to themselves. Women should bring
Do
deals
that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all because we have now moved from a place where there are no women in those rooms to where there are a few women in those rooms. Yeah. So we should get to hear the gist of of the deals going down, right? Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of To Be Quite Honest. I remain your host, Norma, and with me I have Big Ben. Today's topic is, insightful, mind-blowing, and one thing I just want to say is, women, grab your popcorns because this is just for you. Not just for you, but it's very, very insightful for women. Today's topic basically is beyond brunch, the power of intentional female collaboration. And we're going to be speaking about why women must collaborate intentionally and not just socially. I'm going to let Big Ben do the honors to introduce our special guest. I know I've teased a lot. You're wondering, who is it? So Big Ben, why not do the honors?
All right. Thank you so much. Back. Happy to be back here again.
I know, right?
Today with us, we have someone very, very special. Someone a lot of our viewers would know. Some might not even know her, but I think today will be the beginning of that journey.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So today with us is Mrs. Olatowun Candide-Johnson. She's a seasoned lawyer. She's a business executive, and she's also an entrepreneur. Mrs. Olatowun has had a career, a very, very successful career, I must say, spanning well over 3 decades, right? In that time, she has worked over 4 decades. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I almost underplayed it. So, I mean, in that period, she's had, a ton of experience in legal, in governance, and even compliance, in the oil and gas industry. And before she exited that space, she even served as the general counsel and the executive general manager for Total Nigeria. I mean, that's one of the top 3 oil and gas companies in Nigeria. Upstream companies in Nigeria. So right after that, Mrs. Candide-Johnson looked to herself and said, "Nah, that cannot be the end of the story." And then she went on to found
cannot be
GAIA.
The end of this greatness.
The end of that professional greatness. And then she went on to found, GAIA Africa. So today she's the founder and CEO of GAIA Africa. For those who do not know, GAIA Africa is a platform, is a private business and social club for the top 5% of women leaders, right, across Africa. Now, the mission of GAIA Africa, basically, even though I'm not a member, from a distance, I see what they do, and I love it. I see that GAIA basically seeks to, provide top 5 female African leaders, with the tools, with the relationships they need to, shape the future of our continent and, even to thrive on the personal level. So thank you so much, Mrs. Candide-Johnson, for being with us today.
You've literally, I don't know what she's going to say. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I was wondering who you were talking about.
I mean, it's you, man. It's you.
It's me, okay.
Yeah. Thank you for gracing us, honestly, with your presence, honestly.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
I hope my co-host did justice to that.
He did more than justice. Thank you. Well done. And you did all that off by heart.
Oh, yes, I did. That's because I've been on your Instagram. I went to your website.
Okay.
I saw the founder's note and I read that.
We read
she
that.
Definitely wrote that herself.
Okay.
We read that twice this morning, honestly. Yeah. It's inspiring, the work you put out, honestly.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So we're just going to dive straight in. Because, Ben, okay. African women are known for showing up, for birthdays, weddings, naming ceremony, you name it. We're always there ready to party, boogie down, and all of those things. So what do you think? Why do you think that? What do you think is the most beautiful thing about African women showing up together socially?
Socially, socially it's great because women are women's support, right? So we kind of understand each other.
Yeah.
And it's important, if you read, I've read several articles that talk about how when women have good friends, that elongates their lives,
wow.
right? Yeah. when women get together, when they hug, it releases serotonin, oxytocin, all these wonderful chemicals that, give you a warm, fuzzy feeling, etc. And so when you find women that you can trust, and then absolutely, it's you have somebody you can bend her ear with your problems. Somebody who will be ready to support you, somebody who will be ready to chide you when you kind of go off script, in a loving way. And so I think that those friendships are really, really important, and good to cultivate them.
Okay, so but in your view, do you think women are doing enough aside like emotional support? Like, do you think we are, as women, just, because like you said, as women, we have someone to guide us. I feel like that's more emotional support. So do you think we're doing enough?
Well, it's an interesting question, because when you think about the way that women are generally socialized, we're socialized to be competitors. So it actually takes an extra effort to overcome that. And when you manage to overcome that, and of course, maybe it helps if you've been to an all-girls, school, boarding school, whatever, and then you can, you grow with a certain, group of women. But then at the same time, we also live in a very trust deficit environment. And so it takes a lot to build those relationships
that are not emotional.
They are emotional, but then they are built around trust. And so once you build a relationship around trust, then it's far easier to do a lot more than if you're just kind of, on the surface. Yeah,
but I have like a follow-up. So, but trust also is easily broken, don't you think? So regardless of forming that relationship, building that trust, having women that you call your own, and then eventually, you don't know what can eventually break that trust.
Okay, so
what would you say?
So I would, you don't go into a relationship thinking, this woman may, because really, but where does betrayal come from? Betrayal comes from, from within your circle, right? Because they're the only ones who can actually betray you.
Yeah,
because they're the ones who know your story and they know everything. But you can't go into relationships thinking that way, right? Otherwise, you will never form any relationships that are built around trust.
I agree.
However, if that trust is broken, it's very difficult to repair. And so, but then, you have to, you have to give people the chance, you have to give people opportunities. And, if they breach that trust, then, okay, well, you've tried. It didn't work. Move right along. Okay. That's basically what I would say about that. You have to want to, honestly, it's a bit like marriage. I can't think about another where there's a lot of there's tolerance, there's
patience,
a lot of patience, and there's you have to compromise a lot, and it's the same with friendships, right? But then you're building that relationship around trust with the belief that it's not going to be broken. Otherwise, if you believe it's going to be broken, then move away quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's about back to your career. To be honest, you've had a very fascinating journey so far. Looking back, what would you say was like a turning point in your career, basically?
Turning point in which way? Just in my career?
I would say
generally
in leadership, basically.
Leadership.
Because, backstage, you spoke about the fact that you're on a number of boards, and that's something that a lot of career women today aspire to. So when you look back, what would you say, what was that turning point that, changed everything for you?
So I don't think there was a turning point. I think there were building blocks, right? I was talking to a few people the other day, and I was telling them about the first job that I had at a law firm. And I was asked by my boss to go and do something, I don't know, something in court or whatever it was. And I came back with some story about somebody not being, I can't remember what the story was. And he just looked at me as though I had fallen from the sky, and he said, he used a few expletives. I don't care. Just go and get it done, and don't come back until you get it done. So that is kind of how I have always, that's how I've moved, in this world. There's no storytelling. That's why I don't like people coming to tell me stories. I tell you to get something done, just get it done. So that was like one of like the big things in my life. And then I think the other building blocks I would say is perhaps me taking risks to do things. I've taken risks to move out of my comfort zone from law to business development. I've taken risks to go back to school, after I was 50. I've taken, I went and did an executive MBA, which was very tough. Wow. Considering I had a very full job. And I was doing this thing alongside it. So it's just, I think, steps that we take. And we have to be quite brave about what we do. We do have to take risks, because when you take a risk, okay, you may fail, you may not fail. But if you fail, then you learn from that failure. And then it's another building block on your life. And so that's, I would just say that it's just been building block after building block after building block.
Interesting. So you have to be brave. You have to take risks.
You do have to take risks. And then you have to kind of like learn different things, different skills. And when you learn different skills, then it's another building block, because you're then not limited. Because I could literally have stayed in law forever, if I didn't try to expand.
Yeah, like diversify. What do you have you had failures that have?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so my biggest failure was in business, and so when I took early retirement from corporate, and I decided that I was going to establish an arts club, and the arts club was called Voltaire Arts Club.
Voltaire.
Okay. So Voltaire. The company is actually called Voltaire Lifestyle. But Voltaire is a play on Voltaire, who was a French philosopher who wrote a book called Candide. So my name is Candide-Johnson, Voltaire. Anyway, so I went into this thing. I had an architect. I found a build. Well, it was like 8 townhouses and 1 outhouse. We were going to break all the townhouses all the way through to make this wonderful arts club. And the idea for the arts club was to showcase just emerging and established artists. So artists, designer, sculpture, whatever, people who do sculpture, fashion people, fashion designers, etc. Just everything along the spectrum of the arts. And the idea was to showcase their work through events, etc. in this wonderful place. And, I had just come out of oil and gas. And, in oil and gas, your projects are $17 billion, $20 billion. So,
it
confuses you a little bit. So when you see maybe, I don't know, 100 million, you're like, chicken feed, So I still had that mindset, forgetting that, dude, it's not the money of... It's your money this time, right? And so I made many mistakes. Like I took on this property without a full investigation of it. And I just like the fact that I like where it was. I like the fact that it was large enough, etc. But what transpired was that it was susceptible to flooding. And I didn't know this. Well, I didn't know this until we had like an all parties meeting. Architect, MEP, contractor. Myself, etc., etc. And the MEP people, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, you guys know, said this place is susceptible to flooding, and because of the road that was adjacent to it, and that the only way would be to either pull down the buildings and rebuild, or to raise the ground. But then they kind of had short ceilings. We build with short ceilings in this country. And so that would have made the ceiling height even shorter. So it didn't make any sense. Yeah. But also bringing down the building and rebuilding it made absolute no sense. No sense whatsoever, because your project price goes from X to double, triple X. Yeah. And so I realized there that okay, there's no project here. But what was interesting was my learning, right? Quite apart from this whole, check things out and make sure all of that. I also made a lot of mistakes. I was marketing too early with my own money. And I also learned that, so I was also trying to raise money at the time. And the lists that I would get from my financial consultants would never have a woman on the list. There was no women whatsoever on the list. And I found that weird. I said, this is 2017, it's not 1817, right? And I just found, that's when I started thinking, so where are the women?
Yeah.
How come when you talk about HNIs or UHNIs, women are not on the list? There are women who are in that category.
Yeah.
So are they hiding somewhere?
Yeah.
And so that got me thinking. And so when that project failed, I set my eyes on women and I'm like, what is happening? Is it because women, are kind of like in the background? Is it because, I don't know, what is it? So I then started to ask questions, to meet with people and to do all kinds of things in order to, understand the story of what was going on. And that's actually why I then moved into the space, the women's space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so to follow up from where you just, your point that just landed. So how do male-dominated networks sort of operate in ways that women can either adopt or maybe completely refine altogether?
That's a really good question. And so what we have is kind of a play on the old boy network type thing. But men operate very differently. So first of all, men are natural networkers. And they don't really have to know who your grandfather is before they tell you that there's one job that we should do together, right? So, oh boy, are you ready? Because if you're ready, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Women
They're risk takers. Men are risk takers.
And you know what? It's from our upbringing, it's from our socialization. If you think about it, boy, child, girl, child. Boy, child is somersaulting on the furniture, jumping from tree to tree, and the girl, they tell her that, no, don't do that, go and play with your dolls.
You get injured. No,
exactly. Don't do that.
That's shaping their mindset to always not do that.
To just be very careful all the time. And so it's difficult for women to just, anyway, back to the men thing. So with men, it's like, first of all, the truth is that women are nurturers.
Yeah, we are.
So when you leave work, are you going to say you're stopping off at one club to have a big drink? It's a bit difficult, right? Although we're still like, you must come to the clubhouse. But with men, it's kind of like an automatic thing, and it's the way that they socialize, right? So they socialize after work, and they, in England they go to a pub somewhere. In Nigeria they meet at their different clubs, and in England they meet at their clubs as well. But it's just men are freer to do those things because there's somebody usually at home who can take care of business, right? So the only way we can adopt these things the only way we can adapt, I would say, is what we do, and that is to make sure that we have a constant stream of events that members come to so that they can connect, and doing different things and doing activities that appeal to women, and different ones. So obviously not every member comes to every single thing, but if you like, film, maybe you come to film club. If you like books, maybe you go to book club, that sort of thing. So, there's the business element is very much the focal point in the club, and business and investment. So it's just making sure that the members are tuned into that, because it's important. You want to grow your wealth. You want to grow your financial bottom line. Men bring deals to themselves. Women should bring deals
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all because we have now moved from a place where there are no women in those rooms to where there are a few women in those rooms. So we should get to hear the gist of the deals going down, right? Yeah.
Okay, so just to touch on what you had said before when you did your research, because I would assume when you went to do your research, you spoke to some like women, right? Asking like, okay, questions like, why like this mindset, all of that. So do you think that as women, when you did the research you did, went around and, we have this mindset of, so basically my question, what I'm trying to ask is, what mindset block comes up often as women? Do you think it's like a fear of being judged or being like competitors, like being in competition with each other?
I think the reticence comes from, you haven't built a relationship yet.
Okay.
And so let me just be a little bit careful here. And so with GAIA, there's, the one thing that I emphasize is, not interested in what you have, really. Not really interested in, the bag or the shoes or whatever, just we want to see who you are. So it's very much a thing, it's very much about authenticity and who the individual members are. And that's why we're selective as well. Because you want to, we're not, I've been there, done that, really not interested in all those, I call them petty things, really, because women are so much more than, what shoes we've got on or what bag we have, right? And so it's more about, who you are and connecting with people and the impact that you want to leave, this life with, or the impact that you have right now, right? And how best you can expand that impact and, for the benefit of society, but also for you. Yeah.
So from my experience as a man, one of the things that helps us be great connectors is based on the fact that we know that we are natural providers. So I might be playing snooker somewhere and a guy comes in and he makes a call and says something that I possibly can do, and right there I'm just telling you, yo, bro, if you could plug me to that, this is something I can do. So for younger women, basically, what's that mindset shift that you think they can start to, rewire their brains and how they connect with other women so that they can position themselves for, better opportunities, wealth building opportunities, that kind of thing?
I think it's slowly happening, even as we, even as I speak. We have something we call the Gazelle breakfast series.
Okay.
And the idea is to bring younger women together. So I would say from about, we said previously from 21 to like 33, but now we're seeing that it's more like probably from 26 to about 33.
Yeah, because 21 is a bit
it's young. Yeah. But so they come together once a quarter, and we would love to do it a lot more, but we're working on that. So they come together once a quarter, and the idea is to have somebody, like a guest speaker, talk to them about different things, wealth building, how to organize your finance, and different things. Or we have, GAIA women talking. We always have a subject, and then like you can get a perspective from maybe 2 or 3, older women. And one of the most important things is always to try to get them to begin to form bonds, networks, so that they can start to talk business together, Think about the things that you want to do. Talk about the things that you want to do, so that somebody knows. I keep saying to people that nobody can read your mind.
Of course not.
So if you have plans and they're stuck in your head, well, they're going to be stuck there for a while. But if you're telling people and, somebody thinks, which is what happened to me, by the way. Because when I was starting GAIA, I would like literally tell everybody, and people don't tell people things because they might take you an idea. And I'm like, you should take it. Be my guest. Because, you don't really know what I'm trying to do.
Of course.
You have a semblance. Yeah. So, but what I found was that the people who I told things would then think, you know what? You should talk to X, or you should talk to Y, or you should meet this one, or meet. And me, I was ready to meet anybody.
As long as it brings it together.
Whether it brought it together or not, because the truth is that you never know, and it may not be immediately, but it may be like 2 years, and I think, I spoke to somebody about that, and anyway. So we, get together, start to talk about the things that you want, so that somebody who is in the room next to you or whatever can tell you, advise you, or maybe you can even get together, right? And and execute whatever it is that you have planned. So I think younger women are already thinking maybe in that way, and doing things a little differently. And also, don't forget that younger women are like my daughters, who I have plugged in, telling them you need to do this, that, and the other, right? So mothers are doing that already. And so I think that you will find that there's a big difference between, say, a baby boomer or a late millennial or, Gen Zs are very different. Let's leave that for now.
And I think it even starts from being more vocal, especially about your ideas.
Yes.
Speaking in rooms where ordinarily you would want to just keep your ideas to yourself. Because I mean, men, women, everybody has something to contribute.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. And really speaking up is very important because if you want people to know or want people to help you, you need to tell people. And, usually you have a sixth sense that this is the person I should tell something to, or maybe not this person, right?
But sometimes reception is not always like what you would expect. But
that's why I said sixth sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not really what the person looks like or what you think that person or who you think that person is. So it's really just kind of like that. You have a conversation with somebody and you kind of know that you can say something or the other, or you can test it. Yeah.
So about the work you do at GAIA Africa, can you maybe share like one or two real-world examples of how women have used the platform to maybe secure board seats or grow their businesses?
Oh gosh, I mean that. So first of all, we have what we call a board development program, which is really tailored to aspiring board members, or actually it's a refresher for board members anyway. And so we take them through the things that you must know to sit on a board. But quite apart from that, we also have sort of like loose partnerships with consulting firms. And so when they're looking for female board members, they will give us a spec. It's always a matter of a spec, right? You have, sometimes it's age, sometimes it's, a particular skill they're looking for, sometimes it's a particular geographic area they want people to come from. So that really depends. And so that is happening a lot. Or within members sitting on a board, they're looking for another female board member, they're asking for, like maybe I'm looking for somebody who's in strategy or who's a strategy expert or whatever. And, that's happening. And, in terms of deals and investments and things like that, I mean, we're doing phenomenal stuff. Because we have an investment club and we have a co-op. The investment club started in 2020 over COVID. When we were in lockdown, we used to have what we call cocktails and chill on a Monday evening. So it's bring your cocktail, get on Zoom, and let's have this conversation. And at some point I was like, wait, hold on. We're not spending money because we're all sitting at home. So, let's start to put money aside, money that you won't really miss, right? So we started to do that, but we limited that club to 20 people for whatever reason. And so that investment club has invested in a couple of startups, money market, Euro bonds, all that kind of stuff. And then we started a larger one that we call that the co-op, because people, members were interested. And so the co-op now has expanded quite widely, and we have invested in real estate.
Interesting.
With a lovely upside, and also in futures. So like some carbon neutral investment thing that we've done, but they do.
All right, so for women who might not exactly belong to GAIA, since you mentioned that it's private and quite selective. But I feel like there are probably women out there who have done well for themselves in their careers, but do not exactly know how to approach high-level collaborations, do not know how to network across industries, reach out to their peers in different industries. How would you advise such women to?
So first of all, just to say that, I mean, GAIA Africa is a private club, but you can apply to join a private club. Right?
So how long do they wait if they apply?
So I think the process takes around 3 weeks. Yeah, it's not very long for now. Maximum 1 month or something. Because there is a process that it follows. So, there's an online application and then it goes to, and then there's a vetting process, and then there's almost, I wouldn't call it an interview, I would call it like a chat. And then this membership committee, and then, But I don't think that there is any, first of all, I should say that there are so many networks out there. Mm-hmm. So many. And it's important for women to understand that you can't belong to just one network or two networks. You belong to several, because each one is bringing something different. Yeah. I mean, even I am a member of several clubs, because I'm doing different things with, in different places, right? And so I think, first of all, to find networks that work for you. I mean, not everything will work. I mean, you have to find your own sort of happy space, and then grow from there. I think also that there are a lot of professional networks as well, which can be very helpful if they're working the way they should. And so that's another way of reaching out. And I know for a fact that a lot of companies also have these women's groups, right? So they're very intentional about building, a women's sort of network within the company. Yeah, that's also good.
We started that as well.
Fantastic.
We did something like that in Mixter.
Yeah, no, that's great because, and then also you have the opportunity to invite other people to come talk to you. Yeah. You have. You can share ideas, you can share problems. Women's problems are, we understand ourselves.
Yeah. So I was going to say women problems are like more intense.
Well, yeah, and so
more intense. I feel like.
But we understand it because most women will walk the same kind of path.
Or has heard someone that has.
Now, it is only now that, you hear a lot about, the menopause. We never heard about that. I mean, that was just like not spoken about. It's almost like childbirth. Nobody tells you till you land there, right? And then you're like, a bit late now, but there you go. But now, there's a lot of sharing, and as long as it's not going to drive you nuts, because there's a lot of information out there. It's information overdrive actually. Mm-hmm.
So in essence, women really need to step out of their comfort zone, look out for networks that resonate with the career path, their career projections.
Career path, or where you think you might be interested in, or, you want to sort of test the waters in something, go there.
And like she said, it's okay to fail a couple of times.
Let me just throw in a humorous question. Someone might be out there saying, I belong to the Catholic Women Organization in my church. Yes. Does that count as a network?
It is.
Of course it does.
Are you
the
joking?
Kind of women who are in that network?
Are you joking?
If you're in some really good locations.
Yes.
You'd be surprised though. That absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know what? In the old days, the churches were the richest institutions ever.
Actually.
Right?
And to get into those type of organizations, then you had to know somebody that could vouch for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because you're not just handling church business. You're handling money.
Yeah.
You're handling things. Yeah. All these people come together and say, okay, we're going to donate so and so to the church. Where do you think that comes from? From their pockets now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so...
And some people don't want their business out there. So I've donated $1 billion, and then next thing I'm hearing that, they're talking about it now.
If it comes from an organization, it's better.
Yeah. And so, absolutely.
So, okay. So, we've honestly, the conversation has honestly been, I feel like an audience. And that's why I've been like giving quite a lot, because like I'm sitting and I'm just soaking on all like the information. So just before we close off, because we're about to round off, basically what I would say you're building right now, I could call it generational wealth, right? So then how do you as women, when we do that, because, as a man that has his family, when he builds this type of wealth, it's easy to just, push it like, okay, this will go to this person. And as women, how do we then pass that down? Do you then bring it back into the family and say, like, how do you do that?
Okay, so I I didn't start it with the intention of it being a family business.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, it was, I always imagined that I would have investors. I always imagined that I would have people who would sort of like see the vision and, I did try to find a co-founder. I never did, but okay, that's another story for another time. But yeah, so no, the idea would be to build an institution, right? That just
would live
continues,
on for years.
Yeah, and
But would you not want to you have daughters? Would you not want them to be infused in it in a way?
They're infused in it because I'm their mother, right? So, but my kids are very, they've kind of like gone a very different path because like my husband's a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. Like I come from a family of lawyers. My husband comes from a family of lawyers. All my kids are creatives.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
You would not believe that because I was going to say it's just the thing. Like for every family that I know, like come from lawyers, there's always one person that ends up being a lawyer. No.
Yeah, that stopped with my generation. No, not at all.
Interesting.
They didn't even veer in the path.
Oh, wow. It means you actually give them the creative room to express themselves.
Well, yes. To be honest, because even I saw it growing up, with friends who, struggled a lot because their parents wanted them to go in a certain direction. And, you're spending years and years and years doing this thing. And then after you've done it, then you just throw it away. Well, you don't throw it away, but you move into the path. And for me, I didn't, look, my first daughter is an actor, right? And she studied drama or acting for 4 years, right? And then she took a year out to work, and then she went back to do grad acting at Tisch, NYU. Mm-hmm. So that's 7 years, right, of studying. And we used to tell her that you could have been a doctor already. 7 years. She said, don't worry, the doctors will be her
kids.
Her audience.
Her audience, or like she would be hiring the doctors or whatever it is. But so it was important that we allowed them, provided we did. So like she would probably have liked to have gone to, I think there's a New York School of something. Anyway,
Film
whatever.
Academy.
But it wasn't no, not Film Academy. There's another one. But we were like, no, you go to university. If you go to university, you get that, we're still very, we want to see that degree certificate, right? So she went to a university just outside New York and did that. And then I said, okay, I've seen now you want a master's? Okay, get it done. But, it was really funny because when she said she wanted to do this, this grad acting, I thought it was a year's thing. 1 year. Isn't that what masters is normally? And then I heard at the point of, when it was a bit late, there was 3 years. Like 3 years. What are you going to be doing for 3 years? But anyway, yeah. So that was, So they're immersed in, they know what I do. They know why I do it. But I leave them, we leave them with the freedom to live their own lives and to do what it is that they want to do. When you talk about a vision is, first of all, much larger than whoever like perceives that vision. And so I think that we will always be, I don't know when that will finally be accomplished, because if I go by McKinsey's research and they're telling you that it's going to take another 241 years for there to be gender economic parity, that's a long time to come.
A long time.
It's a really long time. And, it starts with people like you, empowering your daughters, right? Yeah. Your sisters, your cousins, and making sure that, they're thinking differently. And it goes also for women to make sure that our sons are thinking differently, the way we bring them up. It's not, it's being a support for women, because we need men. I mean, we have a women's club, but that does not mean that men, we want men to come into that space. No. We have a specific I guess, event every month. We call it Gentleman's Thursday, where we invite men. We invite a male speaker. We want, our members to connect with. I mean, our members have male business partners and all kinds of things. So they have meetings in the clubhouse, and it's only on Wednesdays. We try not to allow men into the clubhouse. So we keep one day for women,
but every other day.
But every other day, men can come into the clubhouse, and we understand, the dynamic of the male-female dynamic. That's really what's going to help us achieve the vision.
Every step we take, every way we live should be filled with peace, joy, and serenity. Now, if you're looking for a community that offers all these with infrastructure and the right amenities for you and your family to thrive, look no further than Mixter Africa Estates. Now, Mixter Africa, over the last 20 years, has basically been provided the kind of community, over 15 estates with 5,000 housing units that people have been thriving in. Look forward to welcoming you in one of our Mixter estates.
Okay. Also, I'd like to find out, because the more successful networks like yours get over time, it means that all around us would have a lot more successful women, right? How do you think that would affect the basic family unit, right? Because over time, when women did not aspire to all of this, we had mothers who were nurturing the kids and doing all of that. But now, in light of global realities and, with the help of networks like yours, we're seeing that a lot of women are now, aspiring for more. A lot of women are, achieving, reaching their potential and even more. So how do you see that impacting, biology, which is a woman being a nurturer? How do you see that impacting, the future of the family thing?
Dynamic.
Because as the women get more
busy,
as they get more influential, they get busier. Meaning that the woman can't do the school runs like that. She can't be the one at the PTA meeting like that.
So let me. So if I use myself as an example, right? First of all, thanks to my husband, because he's my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader. I mean, obviously, I had a very big job. I went to go and live in Paris for 3 years. I came back. I went to go and live in Abuja for another 3 years.
Wow.
Your family was based in Lagos?
Yeah, my family is based in Lagos. Okay, my kids were away. And maybe that was a way that, maybe that helped in a way, but it doesn't really help, because at the same time, you're plugged into making sure that you're there for every half term, whatever. Yeah, exactly. But before they left, this is where support comes in. My mother was very, very helpful. My mother-in-law, my sisters, So if I couldn't, I have a sister that's very artistic. When it comes to, there's a fancy dress or something, there was something in school. We knew who was going to, draw out the costumes, and we knew. But my middle daughter said to me one day, she said that, Mom, you didn't come to I think it was a play or something. And I said, yes, but I work. And she said, yeah, but every other mother was there. And I said, okay, maybe they don't work. and it was, I've never forgotten it, because I felt guilty throughout my career.
Mom guilt.
Throughout. And the truth is that your children are going to thrive no matter what, right? So I could have stayed home, right? And I'm sure that they would have benefited from that. But then life passes very quickly.
True.
And, I'm an empty nester now. I'll be wondering what to do with my life at this point, right? But I think what you need to understand, and I think what everyone needs to understand, is that women have huge capacity. So we can keep these jobs, we can look after our kids, and we can find a way to make sure that the family dynamic is not affected. But I think more importantly, men need to appreciate that we're in 2025.
Yeah.
Really? You want to be the only breadwinner? I don't think so. And we don't want to keep, limiting women's abilities. Honestly, when I was trying to look for money, I came across some people who were asking me why Oga doesn't just pay for this business. They can offer me 10 million naira as a loan. And I'm like, you don't even know what I'm trying to do, obviously. Because if you did, you wouldn't be offering me that, right? So women tend to be boxed into, why don't you just do your business at home? Why don't you just make it small and just, don't let there be no waves. But what waves? Right? You want your husband's support or your partner's support. You want to carry him along all the time. You want him to be able to go to one PTA meeting now.
Yeah.
Are we not? Did we not bring the children together into the world, right?
Yeah.
And I did not miss PTA meetings, whether they were here or whether they were abroad. I did not, because that is just critical, and you can't send children abroad if you're just going to leave them there, right? And so you find a way, because you have to think about what you're doing. First of all, you're not just going to wake up and decide that, okay, this is what's going to happen, and then later on you're wondering how you're going to manage. No. So I think it's down to the partners to decide on what it is that they're going to do and how they're going to do it. But women need that support. They need that, almost that push, actually, to say, but you can do it, right? Not getting, angry or jealous because the woman is flying. Because the truth is that a woman that is flying is she still has the things that she does at home. She still recognizes the husband as the husband, right? But more and more, we want our husbands to recognize that we are partners. Right?
And not just wives.
Because, it's true now. I mean, honestly, you go to work from morning till night and you come back. I also want someone to be taking off my shoes and helping me to relax, because I've had a really, really hard day, right? And that's just the truth, And so it's very much a partnership. And if a woman can put back into the house, if the woman can contribute, life is better for both sides, no?
Of course.
Instead of the poor soul, the man is the only. I mean, if I think about it in terms of my son, please, I would like him to marry somebody who also will be with the house, so that they can manage together, right? Otherwise, it's a big burden for men. And I think it's a very unfair burden, right? But then at the same time, if you don't allow women to do the things that they're going to do, then you really limit them. So we need to move into those spheres, those ways of thinking, and think bigger. And if you have a daughter, for example, and you see her growing up and she's 5, 6, 7, and she's interested in Lego, for example, encourage her. Maybe she's going to be an engineer. Maybe she's going to be, I don't know, somebody who's creating all kinds of different, what they call them. Who are the people who make things?
Manufacturers?
No.
Inventors,
thank you very much. Exactly. And we want to limit her from being an inventor? No. Please.
We're shortchanging the world, really.
Absolutely.
So something stood out for me from your last point. First, we've moved from that time where it was like single
parent
provider households, single income households. Things are so expensive, global inflation. We cannot depend on that.
No.
And also, it also tilts the family dynamic where the man now feels like he has the upper hand, and in some cases start to treat the woman a type of way because he knows she depends on him. So all of that is starting to change.
Of course.
Secondly, women are multitaskers. A woman can still be a high achiever, and still be a great mom at home, and still hold down the house. And finally, every now and then, so there's this saying that behind every successful man, there's a woman. So
driving
I think
him.
in 2025, the discussion now should be behind every successful professional, there's probably a partner.
Of course.
Totally.
So the woman also needs her husband's support. When she has to travel, the man has to find ways to make up for her absence in the home front. And all
but
of
what
that.
then happens when those women, like women that are regardless, say, I want to do this and go and push, and they don't have partners that are willing to compromise?
Then that is really unfortunate. And which leads me to, when you're thinking in terms of a life partner, it's make or break. No, it really is.
It's true.
It really is. You either marry somebody who is in your corner, or you marry someone who's going to break you. And there have been so many instances of the latter, which is really sad, because then, there's now a competition as to, competition, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're trying to build stuff together. I mean, that you would imagine, and marrying for the wrong reasons, this is where you fall into this sort of trap. So I think women and men have to rethink the marriage strategy.
True.
And understand, is this person going to be... So I always advise people to marry their friends. You have to marry somebody who is your friend. You have to marry somebody who makes you laugh, because when you are irritated with that person, if they can make you laugh, there's longevity there, right? So... and then, you want to marry somebody who kind of like has the same viewpoint as you do.
Yeah.
I mean, if I think about the Obamas, for example, she was not marrying a man who was going to be president. She thought she was just marrying. So that was a real flip of dynamic, right? But she stood the course and she did it with such great dignity and everything. And I'm sure that if the roles were reversed, he would have done the same thing. So, that's a really great example. And I think that we need to, and, they're both highly educated. So imagine if one said, the wife should sit down at home with all the lovely degrees and all the learning and all the ability to make impact
so
in the
more.
world.
Yeah.
So we have to rethink all of that and make sure that we're marrying the right people.
How long have you been married for?
So 91, so 34 years.
34 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
34 years. Crazy.
Oh, so in
It is a
34,
bit.
that means you've actually lived out everything you've just said.
Honestly.
Because you've been married in pretty much most of the time that you've accomplished all of the things.
I
you've
told you,
And I
man
can't
is my
even-
greatest cheerleader.
accomplished. Wow.
And I can just imagine the change
Let's just
that
give
you
him.
had.
Can we give him a shout out to Mr. Candide-Johnson from Big Ben, SAN? Oh wow! From Big Ben to you, from Big Ben, no man. The rest
The
of us.
rest
to be
of us,
quite honest
honestly.
podcast. Just want to say a very big thank you
Thank
to
you.
you. Yeah, thank you for supporting.
sharing, pushing,
Yeah.
Do you envision GAIA Africa being an international brand? Like, are you planning to
So
expand?
yes, we're definitely planning to expand to other parts of Africa. And I guess that's why we have the name GAIA Africa. So we're looking to certain cities where there's where our demographic is, right? And there are quite a few of them. But it's, baby steps.
Baby steps.
And I think the first move would be digital, and then we
And
can
see
then-
what you can
and
build.
then we can build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like our MD, shout out to her, Mrs. Shade Hughes would say, the way to eat an elephant is bit by bit.
Yes, it is
So
indeed. She's right.
Conquer
Yeah.
Nigeria and then
Absolutely.
move on to
Let's
Yeah.
conquer Lagos.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Who start with Lagos first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigeria
Alright.
is huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. So there's a way we like to end the show. This is the To Be Quite Honest podcast. So we'll say that and I'll come up with a phrase and we'll just want you to end the phrase.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
It's a new thing we
very-
I hope my
yeah.
brain is working.
Oh, it definitely is, right? It's been working
I
for
don't-
several years and it's still
It's
working.
still working, though.
All right, so it goes, to be quite honest, I wish many more African women knew.
Okay.
You take a moment,
Yeah,
think
let me
about
take that
it.
again.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, I wish many more African women knew
About GAIA Africa.
about GAIA Africa.
I love that.
Thank you so much, Mrs.
Honestly.
Candide-Johnson. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. We have had an amazing time with you. We're pretty sure
genuinely did.
everybody who's going to watch this, would say same. For women who would like to reach out to GAIA Africa, I'm sure where can they contact you?
So GAIA Africa, there's a website. It's www.GAIA Africa Club. So GAIA
Okay.
Africa Club.com.
All right, perfect.
And we're also on LinkedIn and we're on Instagram.
All right. And GAIA is spelled GAIA.
GAIA. Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to the
I'm
end of...
surprised you didn't ask me what it means.
I was going
that's
to.
true, that's true, that's
It was
true.
at my back, and I
Everybody
think
else
I know.
that's true.
No, so I was going to. I've been like, the question is there,
Yeah.
and I was waiting for us to round off the podcast. I'm like, how did you come up with the name?
So I think we should ask her now.
Okay.
So what does it mean, please?
So
How did
GAIA
you-
is Greek mythology, and it's for Mother Earth. And actually, that name was gifted to me by my husband, because when I was trying to think of the names, he said, "What about GAIA?" And I was like, "Oh, actually, yes, that works, because we're saying that everything sprouts from the mother,
Yeah.
right? Because she births
Yeah.
the male and female
Yeah.
child, and that's
Yeah.
And so so everything's from woman sprouts everything.
Yeah.
And so Mother Earth, Greek mythology.
Beautiful name.
Another shout out again to Mr. Candide-Johnson.
He's doing a lot of work.
He is doing a lot of work, yes. And our logo is very pretty. If you can
Yeah.
see.
Oh, that's the logo.
Yeah, that's our logo.
So it's like a lady's face.
Well done, because people always ask me, what is this?
You've got eyes
No,
now.
that's really good, very good. Can you see her beauty spot?
Yeah.
Perfect.
interesting.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but that didn't come from him. I'm very sure. I'm very sure it didn't come from exactly. That was your idea.
So the logo, I mean, like I had somebody who designed the logo, and they literally did it once. But then it was like there was a briefing, and the briefing was
at the end of the
I wanted it to be very artistic, and if you know the work of Picasso, it's very Picasso-esque. So it's very artistic and it's very feminine, and
Yeah, no, honestly.
Well, I honestly did not see the female face.
You
there.
didn't. That was the first. So
Maybe
when we sat
Good for
down,
you. Good
when
for
we
you.
sat down and I looked at your, I was like, this looks like a lady's face.
Yeah.
But when we're after, I was like,
Well, maybe part of the brief was let it look like a lady's face. When
To only women.
All right,
honestly, but one thing we want to say is thank you so much. This has been really insightful, especially for someone like me as a young woman, just starting out. I'm sure when I say young, people will be thinking young, but when I say young, I'm really young.
Really?
So,
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Are we still rolling?
Yes, we are.
I'll tell her off camera. But so especially for us that we're still trying to understand, certain things in our lives and just trying to put it into perspective. It was really insightful, and I'm just very glad that we could get you. So thank you for taking our time out of your busy schedule to be here with us and just shed insight to people that are trying to, break out from the mindset that the world has tried to box us in, honestly. So thank you so much, Mrs.
Thank you so much.
Candide-Johnson.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
I enjoyed myself.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
I
thank
did.
God.
All right, and to our audience, see you next time.
See ya.
It's a wrap.
Bye.
Bye.